My pleasure.
Yeah, you had basically a five-man rotation at defensive end last year. You talked about how you felt like you had five starters at DN. Is it the same deal this year? Do you feel like you have five starters? Just kind of break down what you're seeing at defensive end.
Well, we lost Tyler Friday right now, and that makes it tough. So I thought we had four ends returning: Tariq, and then Zach, and then Javante Baptiste. Those are the four guys that really counting on being the guys that lead it. And then you got to grab a couple of young guys to develop to be a part of that fifth unit. So we're not there yet. We're still in the development stage of that.
How close are Jack and JT to perhaps being in the rotation? Are they pretty far off?
It's still a learning process. I mean, it really is. You get to go play college football and then be ready to play in the first game and big time game. There's some growing pains they have to go through. They're working at it. I'm really happy where they are right now in terms of where their work is. The great work they have is a great student of the game. So it's time. It's going to take time.
Just one more from me. Defensive tackle. Kind of break down what you're seeing in defensive tackle. First team, second team, third team.
But we're not quite there yet. We got some guys inside. Antoine Jackson, to get Haskell Garrett, and then Teron Vince has really had a great camp, and then Jerron Cage is there. So you got four solid guys there, and then I like the young guys. I like Talik. I like Mike Hall is starting to make a push. We got Noah Potter as a guy there. So we got some guys that we can hopefully plug in as we go forward.
You've seen JT before a little bit, but seeing him on the practice field and work and stuff, what just stands out about him so far?
I think one thing about him, he came in town in great shape, and you don't come in and start and get where he's going unless you're in great shape. So he did a great job of doing that. He's got a really high football IQ, and so he really understands the football game. And he's a video guy. He's a study guy, and I think that's why he's starting to advance so fast because he's got some things that you have to have. You want to be an elite player, but his work ethic is off the charts.
Folks, we have Haskell Garrett to your left.
Explain to people what you're talking about there. He knows he has a sense for what's happening in front of him.
Football IQ, understanding information, understanding what you're doing, what you see, and just kind of understanding the game. You know what I mean? And I think that's where he has a huge advantage. His grandpa was a great coach and high school coach, and I think that helped him because he would take him to the game and see the game, understand the game, and that he's got a great vision for that.
What's realistic, do you think, for him? I mean, he obviously came in very late. Can he make it?
I'm hope he can. I mean, he certainly had the tools to do that. Right now is how fast he can learn our defense, moving forward, playing the scheme, and then playing at a fast pace. People don't understand that when you come from high school, it's not as fast as they think it is until you hit the college campus. And now getting them up to speed, he's certainly working at it.
Discuss how he and Jack complement each other, how they're maybe not quite the same player, and that might be a good thing.
It is a good thing. Jack is a quick, real explosive player. JT is just the opposite, explosive, quick, and powerful. I mean, he can play on top of the end in a six technique and knock the line of scrimmage back. So he's very powerful. He's got great lower body strength. Jack is a finesse guy. He'll find a way to beat you, and he's a highly competitive guy. So that's what I like about both of them. Not yet. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet. How we're going to handle that package. And we got some inside guys who can rush, but we haven't gotten there yet. Minnesota's not going to allow us to get in the rushman package, so we got to stop the run first. Yeah.
Have guys like that, though? Like, is it hard not to dream about the possibilities of what you can do with Zach and Tyreek and Jack and JT all in the field together?
Oh, no doubt. It's a nice dream, but it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time. You got to get them to the bus, got to stay healthy, and it's a process to get that done. So, and matter of fact, Tariq and Javante and Zach really have a great camp, really great camp. And those guys are my leaders now. They're setting the pace for those young guys, and that's what you want.
Larry, do you have any idea if you can get Tyler back at some point this year, or what does that loss mean?
I don't know. We don't know yet. It's a big loss. I mean, really a big loss. He was having a great winter, great summer, and right where we want him to be to make a push. And it's just sad. And he's a great leader too. So we're going to wait and see what happens down the road.
See him still looks like he's a coach out there for you.
He is. So he's JT big brother. So we put him in charge of JT and make sure you get him coached up as we go. And that's been going really well, really well.
You had a lot of guys like Chase Young and the Bosa come in here and have been really highly touted guys. Kind of how did Jack and JT compare coming in terms of how prepared they are for the college level?
I think they're well prepared. I mean, they're good athletes. And just like all those great players, I tell people all the time, it's a process. It just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you have to go through things every day. Everything JT and Jack are doing are learning for the first time. And that's going to take time to figure out that process to be really elite players. So I think that, just got to hold tight and watch and see how they develop as we go forward. Yeah. Not quite ready. He got in here. He's brought like 225 with 230. He walked in the door. He's brought 255 now, so he's put on almost 30 pounds of just muscle mass since he's been here. So it's been a transition. He didn't play football, and so he wasn't as strong when he came in. But over the summer, what I mean, Coach Mick did and staff did a great job getting him ready. I mean, he's 255 right now. Look really good. But that's the work he's put into it.
Are there worries when that happens? I mean, it didn't happen that often. We didn't play football.
Right.
We're sitting there all talking about
Yeah.
Were you a little skeptical at first?
I mean, expectations are very high because he's a local guy, but I think he still has to go on the field and play. He has not played football almost a year and a half now, and spring football doesn't really count. It's just a fundamental thing. So we got to wait and see how he develops as we go forward. We got 15, 16 more days before the first game, so now we started pushing him to see what happens.
Anything else for Coach?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What is it like going through a camp and trying to get a defensive line ready when you're playing Minnesota week one, which has one of the Big Ten's leading returning rushers, and trying to get them kind of acclimated for a Big Ten team in week one?
Well, I tell you what helps us right now, our offensive line. Iron sharpen iron, and they're as big as Minnesota, so that's helping us right now. And then we got some elite running backs, so that helps us when we go against each other. So I think we're getting ready to prepare for them because our offensive line is so huge and very talented, and so it's going to get us ready for it. And that's a bonus for us to have that kind of height and weight that we can go against like Minnesota has.
You watch video, you can't miss Dewan Jones right now. From your game, what kind of strides is he making?
360. He's really turned himself into a really great football player. He's on his way. He's very attentive. He's very powerful, very strong. He's got in a great shape. And so DeWan is having a great camp. He's hard to run around. He's just so long and big. But it helped us because we're going to face that the first game.
At that defensive tackle spot with Haskell and Perron, do you feel like you can get those guys on the field at the same time, or do you like them both better at that free touch?
We're training them to have guys to play both positions. And now instead of having 2 players, you gain 4 players. So both guys can play nose, both guys can play 3 technique. So that gives us some more depth, and that's what we're trying to do. We'll train other guys like that because they're veteran players. They can probably handle the playbook, and so far they've done really good. And Teron the same way. Teron can play 3 tech and nose guard if we want him to.
What are the different things they have to learn to be able to play nose guard when they've been 3 tech?
It's different. 3 technique gets more one-on-one in the pass rush. He's probably get more double teams than a nose guard will. A nose guard gets some combo blocks, so he's got to be more of an athletic guy, get off block. But it's a different position, yeah.
Haskell had such a great season last year, Larry. Did you see that coming with Haskell Garrett entering last year? What's he done to get even better entering this year?
The biggest thing, just staying healthy is the biggest thing to him. Just staying healthy going forward. He's in a good space right now, and he'll be a mark guy going into the season. Team's not going to know who he is, and we're trying to get more double teams as we go forward. But I'm really happy where he's at right now.
That's an All-American accolade.
I know, right.
I'm sure you were high on him, but did that surprise how well he played last year?
I think he came back with some resilience. I think he came back and really went to work after what happened to him. I think he really refocused himself and really concentrated on being a really great football player. And that's the way he practiced, and that's the way he played. So it's kind of neat to see him do that. He's really a smart player, but he gets it, understand how to play the game.
Was there the buzz that Zach expected of his game? Have you seen that continue in preseason? Just what's different about him from a year ago?
As you know, the more you play, confident you become. He's more confident right now. He's playing much faster at a pace that we like him to play at. His leadership is off the charts right now. But he put the work in. He's 270. He probably played last year around 255. And so he's a bigger, stronger guy going into his junior year. So we kind of like where he's at right now.
Haskell, you guys had a lot of good things to say about Ty Hamilton. How to continue on his development, to be a part of it.
Oh, no question about it. Ty, he's got a chance to be special for us. He's up to 290 right now, and that's where we wanted to play at the position. And he's one of the guys we're training to play nose guard and 3 technique because you never know when you go on a roll what you're going to have. And so, but I'm really pleased where he's at right now. I really am.
One last recruiting question. JT, that's probably the most unique recruit that you ever had, and now you kind of press the reset button and focus on the 2022 class. You just got to walk us through having to press that reset button.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half recruiting JT, and every day, every hour, just staying focused, staying with the family. And now we have to, get some 2022 guys in here, and we got a group of guys that we really like. And going forward, like most kids, they're going to take their time, make the decision. So we're not pressing, but we think we're in good shape with all those guys, and we'll see what happens.
Did that help you with your patience, having to wait on that?
Yeah, it's not fun now. Patience is good, but it's not fun waiting and for that last hour. waiting for that last phone call.
Larry, you mentioned Haskell and Karavich kind of going from the three tech and playing nose. Have they done that? Has Haskell done that?
Haskell's done a little bit of it. When he first came to sophomore, we had him at nose guard. But he's so smart; he can handle both positions very well, and so we're gonna play around with it, see what happens.
You say he's smart enough to pick it up. Like, how does he show that? Like,
Oh no, just it's two different positions. There's two different techniques in every blitz that we do. So he has to know exactly what the nose guard does and the three technique does. And so we make our guys learn the whole playbook, not their position. So that helps us. So he's in the meeting room, not learning just what he does, what everybody in our defense has done. So that's kind of helped us.
Larry, how did you know that Devontae could put on all this weight?
I'd say he worked hard at it though. It wasn't easy for him. He came here at 209 pounds, I think, and not probably less than that. But he was so driven, and now he's at 255 and playing really well. I mean, I can't say it again. Tariq and Zach and Javante has had really great camps. Really are. Their leadership's off the charts.
When did you see that really come in, the leadership part?
I saw the end of spring football. You saw him trying to step up. He spent more time in the video room studying the game, and that's a sign of a guy really understand what he's got to do to get to the next level. And so I kind of like where Javante is right now. He's going to be a good player for us.
When you got that phone call
From
Big T, I saw you Angels one time. You got a bad phone call a long time ago and stuff. I think it was a nose guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's it like for a coach to win that battle?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was actually out in the yard cutting grass, and I got a text and say, "Hey, coach, I'm going to call you in about 20 minutes." And so now I stood up on the steps and waited like a little kid, like, okay, I'll wait for this phone call. And he gets on the phone. He's a coach. I got a minute. I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And to me, is that one line is, "Well, coach, we made our mind up and we decided what we're going to do." And I'm about ready to pass out because you don't know where this is going to go now, right? I don't want bad news. And all of a sudden they say, "Hey, coach, I'm going to be a Buckeye." And I think I screamed real so loud outside. Chris come running out the door and say, "You all right? You all right? You're right." I said, "Well, we got JT." So it was pretty exciting. And they were too. So it's a good fit. Great family.
You still got the shirt. You got picking up there for
Yeah, dude.
That your experience comes in handy because it seems like you've got one or two guys in like every possible situation. Year, 6th year, 7th year, 1st year, early guys, and just everybody gets good situations. And it helps you to tap into your knowledge of what you're going to do.
Yeah, it helps. It really does. But I think the biggest question is that who's behind them is my push. Like I got to get the next guy ready. You know what I mean? Because something had happened. So my push to get the young players ready as quick as possible because they never know when to be in the game. You know what I mean? So it gives me flexibility. It gives me some chance to move the dots a little bit because they're so veteran, and that's been really fun. And they can set the bar for me in practice. Yeah.
Okay, we got to wrap it up with Coach. Coach, thank you very much.
You got it.
Put Tyreek Smith down here.